In my last video, I gave you the 5 reasons why you should be living in New York City, so if you want to see that video, click the link in the top right corner. However, there are a few reasons why my wife and I are hesitant to choose New York as a place to live. In this video, I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons not to live here. My name is Brett Ballas, and the reason I decided to make this channel is that whenever my wife and I visit a new place, we always get excited and want to live there. We will compare cities from all over the world to decide when and if we should make a move. We'll also give you information if you're considering vacationing or moving to a new city or town. What are 5 reasons not to move here? Number 1, hustle and bustle. Let's face it, if you like living in nature, then dealing with this may not be your cup of tea. New York City is well known for its 24/7 go, go, go mentality, and with that comes more anxiety. With people everywhere you go, traffic, police and fire truck sirens wailing away, and only small crowded parks downtown for relief, it's no wonder we started feeling overwhelmed in a couple of days. Now there is Central Park located in the Upper East and West of Manhattan, where you can get away a bit from the city, but more often than not, we still find ourselves surrounded by people. Simply put, it's very hard to get away from the city and relax, unless you choose to leave. But who wants to get stuck in more traffic in a car, or take a long bus or train ride to get away for a quick holiday? Number 2, high rents. According to a recent report by StreetEasy, the average rent in New York City for a one-bedroom apartment is $3,500 a month, which is a 35% increase from 2021. And if you try living in Manhattan, it's almost $4,300 a month, which will get you a small 700 square foot apartment, which is literally 26 by 27 square feet. That's really small, especially if you're moving from a house or apartment to the city. So if you plan on living in one of the boroughs of New York City like Queens or Brooklyn for lower rent than Manhattan, you have to take into account the time and cost needed to travel daily for your job. I don't know about you, but the rent in NYC is way above what we can afford. We would have to definitely live somewhere out of the city for sure, maybe in New Jersey. 3. Income inequality. When you walk the streets of NYC, it's very easy to get caught up in the fancy restaurants, sleek high-rises, and the wealth flaunted on the streets. But really, NYC is the world of the haves and the have-nots. The city has many people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but if you're a taxi driver, for example, you'll be making an average of only $35,000 a year. And if you're a gig worker, you can expect to make even less than the $15 an hour minimum wage. It's very hard to afford to make your rent and buy food when you're barely getting by working. Approximately 1 in 5 New Yorkers lives in poverty, and nearly half the city's households are considered near poor. Contrast that to the almost 14,000 millionaires who live there. So clearly homelessness is a problem you'll see everywhere you go in New York City. According to National Public Radio, more people are living on the streets in the city than the Great Depression of the 1930s. That's over 50,000 people sleeping in the shelter system every night, and around 16,000 of those are kids. The city is attempting to deal with this problem by creating more safe shelter beds, but advocates say the homeless really need permanent housing. Until that happens though, you can expect to feel despair whenever you spot a homeless person living on the streets and begging for change. It just doesn't sit right with us. Number 4, pollution. It only takes a few minutes being in New York City, and you notice the air in the city smells and your throat hurts from breathing in the air pollution. Some call it the rotten apple, and it's easy to see why. With garbage piled up high everywhere, and vehicles, construction, and buildings spewing air pollution, life in the city can be filthy and grimy. Trash aside, the poor air quality will certainly affect you if you have asthma, but more so, the risk of having a stroke, heart disease, or getting cancer increases. I think I'd definitely keep worrying about my health if I lived here. Number 5, crime. With over 8 million people living in the city proper, crime is a real problem. According to NYPD stats, crime increased by 30.5% between June 2021 and June 2022. This includes homicides, burglaries, assault, and auto theft, which all saw an increase. The majority of New Yorkers report that they're afraid of taking the subway because of several high-profile incidents in the news. Unprecipitated crime is always a problem, so it really comes down to being aware of your surroundings and traveling when there are lots of people around you. It should be noted that New York just enacted a law banning guns in sensitive places like Times Square, churches, theaters, and parks. But already, gun advocates are challenging the law, saying they have the right to carry their concealed guns anywhere in New York City. Now, I felt safe when we walked around New York City during the day, but would be hesitant to walk to some places at night. For these reasons, we're thinking New York City might be a better place to visit than to live, though we would like to return there many times. What do you think? Could you live there? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to hit subscribe and press the bell so you don't miss our next video when we visit a city where Taylor Swift lives, and it has one of the most environmental communities in the world. Be sure to check out these cities by clicking the links here.